Hello everybody, welcome to this trailer video for the TLDR of Life course that I'm introducing to you right now. And so this is a course that I'm teaching you and teaching myself on how to rediscover life balance and happiness on the journey of realizing your full potential. So before we go into the actual course and what's in it, why should you do it, etc., I'm going to give you a little quick background about myself in case this is one of the first videos that you're watching about me. So I'll go all the way back. Introduction about myself. First thing I was in this world is a son and a brother to some great parents and an amazing brother. I was a model minority student, if you will, growing up. Did all the good academic things that my parents wanted to do. Was a high school varsity athlete. I was a sports enthusiast. I was a chess champion in middle school. So all these things that kind of molded me into who I am today. Kind of fast forwarding from there, I became a failed CS major, computer science major at the University of Texas at Austin. After that, I ended up completing my degree in mathematics with a specification in data and analytics, stats and data analysis, I should say. And then I became a tech consultant at Capgemini, a consulting firm, and lived in Atlanta there for a little bit. So I had that analytical mindset, that logic-based mindset. But then I wasn't really starting to create that creative mindset quite yet. And then that's when I kind of switched careers, switched industries, switched verticals, switched type of company from a big consulting corporation to a smaller startup based in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I'm coming to you from today. So that's where I became a growth marketing coordinator, worked on a pretty awesome team of 7-8 people based in Atlanta to help with 2U Laundry and Laundromat, with 2U Laundry at the time, which is a pickup and delivery service, a mobile pickup and delivery service that you schedule your clothes to when you want to order a pickup from us. We pick it up, we clean the clothes, wash, dry, fold it, or dry clean them, and return it back the next business day. So I was all about that growth team. How do we acquire customers from the Atlanta market, in the Charlotte market, and then once in January 2020 we launched the Raleigh market, right? So very growth, very direct-to-consumer mindset that I have there. And then obviously COVID happened, and then moved up to Charlotte, and that's where I became the marketing manager for the team. The company had to become a little bit leaner. But since then, we started and launched and went to market with LaundroLab, a franchise laundromat concept based around our existing store, the Laundry Room in Charlotte. And year to date, we've sold more than 30 licenses since about a year ago, since last January. And we're only growing. And my role there is now to architect the brand and the marketing of both of these companies moving forward. So that's kind of how I started becoming more creative, right? This aspect, combining these aspects of a logical, proof-based mindset, the stats and quantitative mindset, to more of a look and feel and fuzzy feeling of marketing, but they were kind of coming together, right? And then that's when, once I moved to Charlotte, going on beyond this, this academic kind of world or straight path, linear path, that's where I became a content creator. And so I started blogging, I started vlogging, I have a podcast, I'm a writer, I have a newsletter. In terms of blogs, I have more than 200 blogs written on my website, more than 300 almost 300 vlogs on my YouTube channel, and more than 50 episodes on my podcast and counting, and more than 35 plus newsletters. And that's only within the last 18 months. So imagine, and this is only me beginning my content journey, imagine where I will be in a few years, in a couple of decades, who knows. All right. And I also have a music YouTube channel, which not many people know about, but you can find out the link on my website at saivasam.com. I'll include that in the description of the link below. Right, so going from this content creator, right, seeing this academic journey, this quantitative journey, to becoming more creative on the marketing side, and then the content creation. Then in 2020, that's when I would characterize myself, starting to inculcate a mindset of becoming a systems thinker, building my own life operating system from scratch, where I follow the inspiration from folks that I saw on YouTube and other places, and that I utilized that life operating system, what I call the SciOS, even though I don't use an Apple or a Mac or any Apple devices actually, but what I call SciOS, and I used it throughout the duration of 2021, and I saw a massive year of growth. With so much content, right, I got to keep focus, keep tunnel vision in a sense, but also have vision of what I want to achieve in the long term, right? I gained much more purpose, much more vision, much more clarity, much more alignment of who I wanted to be, who I wanted to become, who I am now, and moving intentionally towards that person who I want to become. And so last year, 2021, was a year that I would characterize myself as becoming a systems thinker, and really not only applying it to my life, but then I'm starting to apply it in the organizational setting, where it's not just one person that I have to take into account, but many people, tens, dozens, and hopefully maybe hundreds in the future, etc. So really starting to build that mindset now of being a systems thinker. Then if you see on my website, I haven't really seen this anywhere else, but I got the phrase from a TED talk of long-term multitasking. And so I would characterize myself now as a long-term multitasker. So what does that mean? It's taken from a TED talk, like I said. So multitasker is someone who performs multiple tasks at the same time, right? On a long-term scale, right? That's the long-term piece. So you put those two things together, and you get someone, who performs multiple tasks or projects, in my case, or initiatives at the same time over a long period of time. And when I'm engaged in these several projects at once, it actually doesn't increase friction if you do it effectively, but it enhances each of the projects that you're working on, because you can apply that some ideas that you're reading about or listening to on one topic, two seemingly disparate topics, and you can combine them. And that's where, in that Venn diagram of these two different topics, in the middle, that's where the creativity lies. And then finally, how I would describe myself is a lifelong learner. I'm consuming, devouring content, but I'm very selective about it. I've become very selective about it, minus a few sports shows that I'll watch on YouTube. But I've drastically cut down on everything that I've watched to only be aligned with who I am becoming, right? So again, going back to that systems thinking, I'm very intentional. If I have a vision of who I'm becoming, then what I'm watching will align with that vision if I'm doing it properly, right? So with this content, I'm intentional, I'm deliberate, I'm methodical about all these things. And you'll see on my website, I'm very transparent about this, of what I'm learning. It's publicly available. It's in my book vault, it's in my media vault, all these things. You can see which books I'm reading, which videos I'm watching, which podcasts I'm listening to, right? But again, that is only the knowledge, right? The application of what I'm doing, that is the wisdom. All right, so let me repeat that again. All this knowledge I'm gaining through all this content, right? That's great. But if I'm not applying it, then it's wasted knowledge. That potential is there to utilize that knowledge. But if I'm not utilizing it properly, then it's wasted. right? It's just sitting in your brain, and it'll go back into the recesses of your brain. But if you used it, if you act on it, you can turn that knowledge into wisdom. And so the other aspect of this, of learning, is, there's a quote out there that says, to learn is to teach twice, right? So, sorry, I said it backwards. To teach is to learn twice, right? And so by me teaching the course here, not only hopefully am I giving and sharing my own thoughts, but in the process, I'm learning again what I'm building, what I'm teaching you, right? So it's learning on a double scale there. And I'm going to be learning with you. You're not going to be the only ones learning here. This learning is for me as well. So I want you to see as I'm documenting this journey as well. And I'm going to be learning with you in a way that you might not expect. Okay, so that's like a quick background about me, even though that was a 10, 11 minute spiel on that. But going on to the course now. So how is this course different? So this course, again, like I said, is called a TLDR of Life, with rediscovering life balance and happiness on the journey of realizing your full potential as the subtitle. So as it suggests, the course's intention is for everyone to rediscover holistic life balance, success, happiness, and ultimately realize their maximum potential. So this is a course unlike any other. Because like I said, not only will I be teaching this course to you, right? And disclaimer here, I actually, secret, I actually haven't built out the course yet, right? I mean, I've mapped it out, here are the major milestones, or here are the big things that I want to tackle. But the syllabus is not fully created yet. I have ideas, what I want to incorporate, but I'm more of a let's set the vision, and then as I'm moving towards the vision, the future points on the vision will become clearer, right? So I have this vision of a course, right? And I have the general idea, but the day 5, for example, of this course, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. So we'll see, and if and how I'll get there, when I'll get there, right? So, again, like I said, this is a course unlike any other. I'm going to be creating this course as I go on, like I said, right? I haven't fully built it out yet. Furthermore, not only am I going to be teaching you this course that isn't even fully built yet, I'm going to be a student with you at the same time. I'm going to be doing the course with you. I'm going to create, teach, and do the course with you all at the same time. And I'm going to document and share that journey with you on YouTube and wherever else, so you can follow along and see not only my growth, but then hopefully you can do the course, be engaged in it, see your growth, and maybe share that growth with me or with anyone else that you want to share it with. So this is, I don't think I've ever seen a course where it's not built yet, right? You can take that as a positive or negative, but it's kind of like the agile sprint methodology, right? Where, you iterate, you push it out to the consumers, they get feedback, and then you create a better feature, or if there's any bugs, then you fix the bugs, right? Same thing with this. I'm going to be doing 1 day at a time, 1-2 day syllabus at a time. I'm going to be doing it so then I can see along as a student, hey, is this actually valuable? Is this not valuable? And then how will affect the rest of the days in the course. So this is a very malleable approach to course building. Now, so like I said, I don't know where this course is going to take me, but hopefully at the end, I'll be like, whoa, this is some cool stuff. So again, there's no finish to this course per se. There's no certificate. There's no thing that you can put on your resume or anything. There's no test to evaluate what you've learned, right? But it's for your own sake. It's for your own journey. If you really want to have that happiness, be the happiness. If you want to have that life balance, realize your full potential, then there's no reason to include it on a resume, right? So that being said, there's no commitment either. other than what you personally commit to yourself. You can watch this video, you can watch the first video, and then that's it for the rest of your life, and hopefully you gain something out of it. You can follow all the videos and do everything that I said and even more, right? That's completely up to you. And I think this flexibility of approach allows for people who want just a high-level thing or very granular, or who want a fully robust system, who want a fully operational life operating system, like myself. So, whichever end of the spectrum you're on, hopefully you will find yourself being yourself within that spectrum. So, now you're asking, why should I listen to you? Maybe you're 35 years old, maybe you're 21 years old, maybe you're 47 years old, maybe you're 60 years old. It's never too late, it's never too early, right? But why should you listen to me? Maybe you've had different life experiences than me, right? That's inherent in being a human and person to person, right? And I recognize that, and we should celebrate that. I also have no right to tell you how to live your life, right? But this content, this course, TLDR of Life, is instead focused around not telling you what you should do, but simply asking if you know how you want to live your life. I know right now how I want to live my life. I didn't know the answer 2 years ago. But by doing the self-work, by doing the development, by reflecting deeply, by communicating with others, by listening to people that I aspire to become and become even more than. By doing everything, I know how I want to live my life. So I'm simply asking you in different ways within this course, if you know how you want to live your life. Right? So I'm not going to tell you what works for you. I'm going to simply provide all of the things that I've gathered and done myself and bring those to you. From there, you choose what you want to do, right? So again, you can whichever end of the spectrum you're on of one thing or everything that I've shared. It's up to you how much of it that you want to implement, right? And additionally, at any point, you can bring in anything that you've been wanting to bring in as well from other maybe books that you've read or journaling that you've done on your own or ideas that you listen to on podcasts, etc. You can bring those in at any point. There's going to be time and space for that independent exploration within and between sessions. All right. So obviously, I'm 25 years old. I obviously don't have all the answers. Not sure if anyone does. But in my opinion, it's not about having the answers. It's about asking the right questions. And hopefully, the questions that are posed in these sessions, in this course, are only the beginning of even better questions that you're going to ask yourself. And throughout my last 2 years, I found myself asking better questions. And so those questions not only lead to answers, but those better questions lead to even better questions. And soon, you'll be finding yourself asking those better questions personally, asking those better questions at work, with family, with friends, with anyone that you're talking to, or whether you're thinking about your life or reading a book or anything, and you'll ask those better questions, and you'll look for the more in life. Look for the within in life. And so kind of an analogy to bring it home is with this kind of self-service, if you will, is, many courses out there provide a rigid framework and concrete steps for success or building a life operating system even, right? Or very, do these 3 things and here's your way to happiness. Like, no. Very, respect to those people, but I approach it differently. And I want to approach this course differently. And I not only want to say that, but I want to practice that, right? So think of a restaurant, right? Think of the metaphor of a restaurant. This is like a 7-course meal that's presented to you. Sorry, my course is not like that. So in the metaphor of a restaurant, right? Imagine there's a 7-course meal that's presented to you without too much wiggle room, right? It's amazing experience. It's like you got the entree, you got the appetizer, entree, salad, all these things, and the dessert, and like everything, right? It can be a great experience. But that's not the only way to consume food, right? What I'm providing you with is manifold. If you'd like, this course can be a buffet of options that you can choose from, picking and choosing which ones may be best for you, right? So it can be a buffet, but there's also a menu that you can order from, which are more out of the box solutions, in addition to resources and experience that are the source of where my content comes from. But in addition to that, there are also items you can order that aren't even on the menu, right? So there can be a buffet, obviously pre-made items. There's menu of, it's not ready-made, but physically that you can eat yet, but you can order it and then we can make it for you, right? But then there's things that, hey, I just want these ingredients, and then you make your own food. It's almost like a show on Iron Chef or Chopped, right? Here are the ingredients that you want. Let's make a meal, right? So in this restaurant analogy, all I'm doing is simply taking you to this restaurant. The rest of the experience is completely up to you. So now you might be asking, why am I doing this course? Why now? What's the inspiration for this? And so, like I said, I started building a life operating system back in October-ish of 2020. And I used it for the full calendar year of 2021. And I felt myself more organized, have more clarity, have more focus, saying no to things that I might have said yes to before because they didn't align with who I was, my values, right? Obviously, it's still a journey, but the growth last year and in 2020 has been so much more than in my previous years. And it's been documented and I've journaled about it, right? So I can see that growth in myself from who I was even 3 months ago to 7 months ago to last year, right? But again, why am I doing this, right? I want to share that journey of building a life operating system, right? So in this course, you're going to be building your own life operating system, right? If that wasn't clear, right? I've used my own life operating system, about which 80 to 90% of it is taken from someone else. His name is August Bradley. Great guy. I follow, subscribe to his newsletter, watch his YouTube videos. I've seen all of them, sometimes more than once. So look him up on YouTube. He has a great series. He's actually doing another course. Oh, not another, but he's also doing a course and has a community, all these different things. And so once I got into that, he showed me his life operating system, his life design. And I built that. I built according to that, but made things some of my own, right? So in this year of using it, I've found what works for me, what doesn't necessarily work for me, right? And the templates that people provide, they're good to an extent, but you may not be able to connect with them as much to your life because they built it for themselves, right? And so I want you to build your own templates. I want you to mold this into an experience for you and not for anyone else. So I'm just providing, and the additional side of this is I also, since there's things that I've learned along the way in the last year and a half, having my life operating system, I want to build my own second V2 of the life operating system, this V2 of SciOS anyways. So I figured I'd share the journey with you, right? And so I want to share how much it's positively impacted my life. And I want to bring you things that I've learned throughout all these courses, these quests, these videos, these podcasts, these books, at work, talking to people, just journaling, etc. Everything coming into this course. And that's why it's so much that I can't even comprehend what the course is actually going to be like, because I'm just going to start day 1, day 2, do the course, and then see where it goes from there, right? So you're asking okay, what's actually in the course now, right? So this course is, at its core, a life operating system. It's a cohesive, integrated, efficient life operating system that will make you operate at a much higher level than you've ever operated before, than you've ever lived at before. Everything in there is for a reason, and nothing is there without a reason. Right? There's going to be components, structures, processes, all laid out of how I use it, right? And they may be valuable to you, but I will share that and share why I do it and how I do it, right? And then you can make your own decision on, yes, that actually makes sense for me, or it mostly makes sense, and I'm going to adjust it a little bit to make it fit my life, or this is actually completely useless for me. Next video, please. Right? So it's these different component structures, processes within the system. There's going to be vision, alignment, and focus created. Some of the three key ingredients for life balance and happiness, I'd say. There's going to be things like building your own identity, like habits and practices within this. There's going to be different KPIs. Now we think KPIs may only be related to work, right? But whether you know it or not, there are KPIs governing your own life. So the introduction and diving deep into that. You may have heard about the OKR framework that we use also at work, the objectives and key results that's been made famous by Google and other organizations that use it, right? Again, how do we apply that from the organizational setting into the personal setting, right? So there's an integration of the OKR framework into this, right? Everything from your highest level purpose, mission, values, that vision, all the way down to what you're going to do every day to achieve that vision. There's going to be different templates, those Notion, digital, that I use Notion. So there's going to be a lot of Notion in here, as well as journal templates, stuff that you may write, or you can combine the both, right? So I'm just going to, again, like I said, I'm going to provide you the ingredients, and you're going to build the course. You're going to make the meal, and you're going to eat it. And it's going to be hopefully good. And if it's not, then you know what to do next time to make the course, make the meal even better. There's going to be different reviews that you do, right? That I'm going to build in for like how you end the day properly, how you end the week properly, how do you plan for the next quarter, what do you think about at the end of the year, etc. There's going to be different vaults, a knowledge bank, a library, whatever you want to call it, of everything that you're learning, right? These things, for example, are on my website. A couple of them are the book vault and the media vault, right? Every book that I'm reading. How do you capture all this data, the notes from that, synthesize it, and then use it and it surfaces at the right time? I obviously am creating content, like I said, hundreds of blogs, vlogs, dozens of podcasts and newsletters, right? How can I create? If you're a content creator, you need to keep up with this as well. So this is going to be an organized way to do that, creating that into the system as well. We're going to, maybe one of the first days we'll be diving into why is it called TLDR, right? If you followed my blog or podcast, you probably know why up until now, but I'm going to explain it to those of you who haven't been on that journey with me yet, but are joining with me right now. Why balance? Instead of, addition to happiness and love and intention, all these things, right? Why balance as one of the key points of my thesis, basically, of why balance is so important for you. Journaling has been an amazing way for me to connect with myself and learn how I communicate with myself. And so I'm going to take you through different templates like that, like I mentioned. And maybe you resonate with a previous version of what I've done, because I've continued to iterate. Like I said, I'm a lifelong learner. I can't be too stagnant. And so I'm going to be taking you through how I use and how I journal. Right? And some of the outcomes of those journal topics, if you read my blog, which is my journal, by the way, one of my journals, then there will be some topics in there that I've kind of come up with on my own, like TLDR, right? And these journal topics, these blog posts, I've gone semi-deep on them, but I can fully flush them out here and create a video on it and see how it'll impact and integrate into your life operating system, or at least into mine, and you can make the decision for yourself. And like I said, the course is not fully built yet, so there's probably going to be more in here that I mentioned that I don't even know about right now. Maybe months down the line, I'll add something, and then that's going to be in months later videos. So that's that. So that's what is in the course for right now. So having said all this, like, why should you do this? So it may seem like so much work, like, oh my God, the list of things that you just said, like, oh my, that sounds great, but I don't have time for this. Listen, so this may seem like a lot of work, and I'm not gonna lie, depending on if you want to go full, if you want to play full out, then it can be a lot of work. It took me to build my version 1 30 to 40 plus hours of building it out, right? I spent 50 to 60 hours planning 2021, or the first quarter of 2021 as well, right? However, if you tried spelling out your operating system right now, because you operate with a system whether you know it or you're not, or whether you know it or not, your habits and routines define you. Your actions that you do, who you talk with, who you communicate with, what do you talk about at work? What do you do at work? How is your focus at work? How is your focus when talking to people? It's everything. It's within an operating system, whether you know it or you're not. And so and if you try to process map that out, or if you actually try to write this out, or if you try to create a system around what your current system is, right? If you try to document what your current system is, it's going to be, I guarantee, at least 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x more complicated than if you just create a defined life operating system right now. And I've gained so much clarity because of that, right? And you may think at the end of this, like, hey, like, why do I need a system or process or database or whatever it is for everything in my life? And simple answer is you don't need to. But this is the best way for me, right? The point isn't for you to do it my way. The point is to take the time and ask the question for yourself, is this for me? And I'm not sure, I just want to make sure that you've asked yourself that question. Is this for me? Is this process for me? What are other processes that I do that Sai doesn't do? But is that for me, right? Then if we haven't done anything to answer that question, I don't know. But that's step 1, asking yourself, is this for me? Who do I want to be? So this is absolutely free. This is a free YouTube course, right? No money is involved here. There are other courses out there that you can pay hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for, retreats that you go to, and those are very valuable. However, I'm providing content here for free, providing you a life operating system and a way of thinking for free. So, and I want to share that journey with you, of me building my own life operating system, or at least a V2 of it, and hopefully you get to join along that journey as well. So a few things to keep in mind while you go through this, that there are 2 things here. There's a system, right, that I'm teaching, that I'm learning, that I'm experiencing and doing myself. But then there's also the implementation of it on a tool, which I'll use Notion, right? Those are not the 2 things. Those are 2 different things, the system and the tool, right? I may be doing both and going back and forth, and it may be a fluid relationship between the 2. But I'm going to do my best to separate those out, and you should too, because the system is independent of the tool. System is independent of the implementation of the system. So just keep that in mind as you're going through these videos. Another thing is, from a gap perspective, from a cadence perspective, I don't know how long in between videos I'm going to take, depending on my just schedule, right? So I'm hoping, but probably no quicker than 1 week, hopefully no longer than 2 weeks. So I'm thinking right now 1 to 2 weeks. It might, I guess, maybe slip out to a month, but definitely no longer than a month, right? Depending on how deep the topics are, right? Some of these I might be writing for days and weeks, right? So in that case, I want you to go deep as well, right? So regardless, right? This is not something that, day 1, day 2, day 3, it's like all in a week and I'm done. All right, life operating system built, right? It's not like that. I want you to take your time, go deep on these. And then when you think you're like, all right, next video, Sai. No, go deeper, right? It's pushing past that comfort zone into that learning zone, right? Push past that comfort zone into an area of discomfort, but not totally, out of the realm of who you are, but just into that, beyond that comfort zone, into the learning zone, right? So I don't know fully what that cadence is going to be, but I'll aim to be 1 to 2 weeks. But fully digest the content, experience the content, do it for yourself, right? Depth is more important than breadth. All right, depth of how you connect with the content is more important than the breadth of how much content you consume. Right, so I'm going to be using a brand new space on Notion, or a workspace, I think it's called. And so, you can use Notion, you can use ClickUp, you can use Evernote, you can use whatever you want. I'm going to make it simple, but I'm going to be using a brand new space on Notion so you can see what it looks like and feel and experience what it feels like to start from scratch, right? So if you do build one on Notion or whatever, right, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, it doesn't have to be remotely close to mine, but I'm just bringing this up as a framework, something for you to visualize what a life operating system can be and what it is for me as I'm building it, right? The point is to try for yourself. You can't succeed if you don't take that first step, right? Even if you fail, even if you fall forward, fail forward, so you can pick yourself back up and then move forward. All right, so main thing is here, please don't just watch the videos, right? Don't just watch the videos. Please engage and involve yourself. This is an experience between us, right? I'm just sharing my experience, right? Don't just listen to what I'm saying. Watch what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm teaching, learning, and experiencing at the same time, right? So obviously you may not be teaching anyone, but you can. You can teach your spouse. You can teach your friends. You can teach your family. You can teach your coworkers. Whatever it is, you can talk about it just generally on social media. Whatever it is, right? But I'm doing those three things, and I'm sharing that with you, right? So don't just watch this. Experience it for yourself. You're not a passive listener here. You're an active listener. This is an active experience, right? This is a transformation of that knowledge that you're learning through this video and watching me, taking that from knowledge into wisdom through action. Right, so I'm going to make mistakes, I'm going to make corrections along the way. If you're watching this video months from when it's published or years after I recorded it, chances are my life operating systems has probably developed and evolved and grown. Right, and that's the point. Iteration, growth, progress. Right? That to me is growth. So just bear with me as I'm building this course out for myself, since I don't know where the end product or end result is going to be. But it's a journey that we can take together. So I thought this was going to be a 10-15 minute trailer. Ended up being more like a full Bollywood, Tollywood movie. So apologize about that. Maybe you listened all the way. But, I hope whatever questions you've had, who am I? What is this course? Why am I doing it? Why should you do it? When is it going to be happening? All these things. There's probably going to be more questions that I didn't answer. But this is just a introductory video to the course. Hopefully the course videos are going to be actually smaller than this and shorter than this. But I wanted to lay out everything in front of you so then that you can see and make the decision for yourself and experience it for yourself. So again, this course is called TLDR of Life. Rediscover life balance and happiness on the journey of realizing your full potential. So I'm going to post this on YouTube, obviously. Share it with your friends and anyone else who you think could benefit from this. Comment on here, comment on this video if this was an in-person course that you'd attend, right? Or potentially be interested in. If it was free, if it was paid, whatever it is, right? Just like comment on here, right? I want to see that engagement. I want to see that excitement from you. And I'll be more excited to be bringing you videos more often with more engaging content, going deeper, right? The last thing I'll leave you with is this. This course is really, as you're realizing your full potential, gaining balance and happiness, right? It's about being better leaders, inspiring others, transforming yourself, inspiring others to transform themselves, right? It's to be better leaders, better parents, better role models, better siblings, better friends, better employees, etc. We're all becoming better leaders, right? But how can we lead others effectively if we can't effectively lead ourselves first? Right? How can we lead others effectively if we can't effectively lead ourselves first? So, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you. because I don't know where this journey will take me. I don't think if you're joining along, I don't know if you will know where this journey will take you, but I'm glad that we are taking this journey, that we are taking this step one together. And hopefully at the end of it, it's only the beginning of something else. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to going on that journey with you. Take care.